We are live!
We are live!
With the volcano himself, Michael Mount Sabon. Mike, thank you for joining us on your annual visit to our recap show.
A little long overdue, but apropos being that I was just shipped off and sent packing, so to speak.
Let's get right to it. First of all, it's the second straight year that you've been shipped off.
Yeah.
And you want to avoid a third straight year where you missed the playoffs, by the way.
Yes, you know
what? You
what?
have not been in the postseason since the Marabia regime, and we have been unable to cover you in postseason ball.
And that is when I tend to erupt the loudest.
Yes.
You know, so we do want that. And yes, it has been about a year and 2 years now. But I do believe my new hometown.
You gotta believe.
Yes, I do believe. I do believe we will make a very strong showing this year and go deep into the playoffs, if not all the way.
Well, you definitely have the arm to do it. Let's talk about the trade first of all. Were you surprised, or did you know that you were on the trading block?
Listen, nothing anymore surprises me. Nothing. Not in this game, not with these guys. Anything could happen. Now, did I know I was on the block? No. Did certain things come up along the way where I was asked if I was unhappy? Yes, it did.
Were you unhappy?
I can't say I was exactly thrilled. Okay?
Why?
I'll tell you this. I loved the team. I did. I really did. I loved every guy on the team, and I loved the people, and I loved where we were going. However, as good as I thought we were or could have been, something was missing. And we were progressively getting a little worse every week. Like, we were 3-3, which is nice, but not nice enough in this league. You know that one bad week and then you're in the hole.
Yeah.
We could have been 1-5. We could have been 0-6. We could have been 5-1.
Yeah.
But we were right in the middle, and we had yet to play the big boys.
It's funny, I was looking through your games. For week 1, you could have won or lost both games, the Mo Harari walk-off.
Yeah.
Week 2, Cherokee Tribe, they gave you a couple of gifts there. They were coming back. If Allie gets a hit at 10-8, bases loaded,
if we didn't have a 10-run lead, we would have been destroyed.
Right.
How's that? So there was a lot of factors every week.
And on the other hand, if Shimmy doesn't catch the ball in 300 feet from the plate,
and I had the foresight to go to the captain and the other advisors of the team and say, while we're hot at 3-1, this is when you strike.
Right.
Not when you're 0-5 and then you're looking to dump everyone. Plan for the future, go in hard, make a move. We had great opportunities at 3-1. The 0-4 teams were begging. Trade everyone, second round, first round. Don't leave your jerseys where they may. Leave your underwear. Leave everything. We could have had anything we wanted.
But nobody does that, Sabon. Cherokee made a trade, To the Moon made a trade. You Gotta Believe made the trade. The Knights made a trade. All off of sweeps. All 4 teams that traded people was when they were down in the dumps.
It's called panic selling.
Yeah.
Those of you who bought Dogecoin, waiting for Elon Musk to come on and do something good, he flopped. The stock flopped, but it'll come back, so hold.
Oh, okay. So a little financial advice from Sabon now as well.
That's right.
Okay, so what did you think was the right solution for the Knights? What was your move that you liked?
Listen. As much as I loved everyone, everybody knows here, at least I always thought my, lack of World Series rings, 2 in a long time, losing several in the world, losing several rings along the way, you need that big picture. I believe the great ones have the best chance. And I'm not saying the other guys can't win, but if you could put yourself in a position to have one of the elite guys, you're going to go further. Max, Naby, you know, whoever it might be. Those are the guys, no matter where they stand every year, 1-3, 2-4, 3-3, you can't ever count them out. But a team that starts off, you know, 3-3, and then now they're facing the big guys and they panic by selling by far their best hitter, you know,
Beta.
Beta and Rishni. I'm just a dip on the side, right? You know, those are the ones that might have trouble. Listen, they're, like I said, the Knights have a very good team, and I wish them all the best. But honestly, at this point, I'll take my chances with a 2-4 Navy, because I gotta believe, and I do believe.
You rather be on the 2-4 Navy than the 3-3 Leo team.
Right now, I would say yes. And I'm not saying we're going to go win out the season.
No.
But you know what? Navy is a captain who wants results. And he obviously wasn't getting it the last few weeks. So from what I heard, he told his entire team, leave your crap on the bench because you might not be back.
I was there. He walked off the mound after they had not scored. They scored 4 in the top of the first.
Right.
They then went 10 more innings without scoring, and then 7 more innings without scoring. 17 innings of YMSL softball without getting a run home. It's unheard of.
That's unheard of in any sport, especially YMSL. And you know what? I'm not sure how his pitching performance was, but I can't believe he was getting rocked and they were getting killed. I'm sure they were in the games, but you know, occasionally someone's got to step up. And I think he probably made the right move making that kind of statement, because he's not here to have fun. He's here to win rings, and he's going to have to put himself in that position to do so.
Now, you were shipped out with Michael Beta and DR. What are your honest assessments of those two? Are they having decent years? Are they struggling? What is the... Because you are having a phenomenal year. I don't know the stats. I honestly, I did not look. But every time I'm at your field, you're hitting the ball. And yesterday, during that comeback on Sunday, when you guys were coming from 9-4 to 9-8, you ripped another ball. It seems like you're hitting great this year. What is going on with Beta and DR? What do you think?
Beta is, you know, he's a great athlete. He took a time off. Honestly, it's going to take a few weeks for him to get back into mid-season form. We're coming up on mid-season. So now with his new life, I'm expecting big things. He's hitting the ball well. He's fast as could be. He's a lockdown outfielder. He's going to have no problems. You know what? He's also now going to be hitting in front of me. And he has a big, tough act to follow in David Farka, because he is phenomenal. And the 2-3 punch that we were putting together was lethal. I mean, every time the guy was on, and I think just about every time he got on, I drove him in.
Yeah, it was...
So he is going to have to step up in that position. I'm going to do everything I can, and I need guys on base. So I'm not worried about him. DR is a consummate professional. Yeah. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
I think because he was not so thrilled splitting time in the field, and maybe he was not hitting so great at all, but he knows what he's doing wrong. I spoke to him. He has a new life. He's going to come in, and he only has up to go. I mean, I think he has only 1 or 2 hits on the season, but he can't possibly end up batting, you know, 0.
Oh, 50.
So,
it's impossible.
So it's impossible.
So Beta also missed week 2. I think that hurt him. He didn't get any consistency this year yet.
Right.
Now you said it. He's at mid-season form. I really think, even if he stayed on the Knights, I really think this week is the week that we're going to see an emergence, especially after the trade.
Listen, yeah, another thing for myself and Beta, specifically him, you know, we took him, he was on the Knights, he was part of an ensemble cast. Yeah. He had, I guess, the fortunate ability to hit 5 on that team. So the big pressure wasn't on him, but he likes that. Yeah. He came from being the 3 guy. Yeah. So that's where he is going now. And I think with that added pressure that he's going to have on this team, he's going to have to be the man. He's moving to center. He's at a right field. So he's going to have to control that whole outfield. And he's hitting 2, which is going to force him to be on base if we're going to drive and run.
100%.
So he's not going to have the easy luxury of stepping up to the plate with me and Farka basically on 50% of the time.
So I was a firm believer, and I was very open with this. Nate B had to make a deal.
Yeah.
He had to make a deal. I have not seen an offense that anemic in my life. I'm telling you, I've never seen anything like it. Against threat level Midnight, they scored 1 run in the top of the first, and then they went 14 innings without scoring. And then, like we just said, 17 innings without scoring this past week. That means, and they only scored in 2 different innings in 2 weeks. It's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
And they weren't even threatening. There was no play at the plate. There was no action, just dead. So he had to do something, but he gave up a third baseman. Who's playing third on your team?
That has yet to be announced.
Okay.
We're going to have...
Do you want to announce it now, or is it not your announcement?
No, it's not for me to discuss. It's, you know, he knows what he's doing. Otherwise, he wouldn't have made that deal. And honestly, obviously giving up Henry is not, you know, the ultimate thing to give up because he's a great third baseman.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that in this league, it's not the easiest thing to turn on a Navy fastball and be ripping them down the third baseline.
Right.
So whoever he has there, which may or may not be better than Henry, I don't think they're going to be getting 10 balls a day. But you know what? Whoever he puts there is going to make the plays, and that's all we can do.
Interesting point, Sabon. Very, very, very interesting. Okay, let's go around the league a little bit. This past week we had, of course, your sweep against Time. That first game, I think, was the most exciting game I've seen this year. That was amazing.
Yeah.
To see you guys come back and your lineup, from your ex lineup that just doesn't stop. Each guy that comes up could rake. And then to see Shimmy catch that ball at the end, I mean, what's your opinion on that team, on Time?
Listen, I said it from day one. Every team is competitive. Every team is great in this league. Look, the records speak for themselves. Even the guys who got swept early on are starting to win games. By mid-season, I don't believe anyone's going to be 12-2, and I don't think anybody's going to be 2-12. You tend to see things average out. It's sort of like average. Guys were hitting 1,000 after week 2. They're down to 600. Odds are, by the end of the season, they're going to be at 5 or under before they're at 7. So that's the same for a team's winning percentage. Period. That's the law of averages. So, I mean, you know, I don't know if I answered your question, but...
No, you did. I mean, because I thought Time, by the way, they got the replacement.
It was specific to Time.
Yeah.
Listen, they're a good team. And I think as good as Jimmy is, as great as Jimmy is, they caught a very big break picking up Sam Michon because he moves to center and Shimmy now moved to right. I'll be honest with you.
No one else is catching that ball in right.
I don't care who was out there. Their regular right fielder, I don't know who it was, but I promise you that no one was catching that ball.
No, that was a center fielder catching the ball in right field.
He made a game-winning Willie Mays over-the-head catch that probably goes 50 feet over anybody else's head, and we walk him off. But again, that team scored, you know, 8-9 runs, and we had to come back. But I think at one point we may have had a lead. We may have been up 4-1.
You were up 4-1.
That was my concern.
Yes.
As good as we've been, or my old team has been, we were scoring, but we were giving up more. And then we had to play catch up, and this week it caught up to us. So that team is tough. Any team led by Zach is going to be tough. I don't care who he has with him.
Yeah, he really needs the speedy guy with him because that's his game. He likes running around the bases. He likes dancing between first and second. The other guy over here. And Jimmy's not that guy, even though he thinks he is. Jimmy keeps running, but he keeps running himself into outs. Although Jimmy as a hitter is just so damn good. He's such a good hitter. But this guy, Sam Michon, is hitting the ball a mile. So I agree. I think they caught a break.
I think Sam came in and he had a good opportunity to come in and really without any batting practice or working up to getting into the game. And he got lucky. He got to face a team that wasn't helmed by Naby or Max Yadid because he could have went 0 for the day.
Right.
But he had a big showing, and now those guys are right back in the race.
You're right, and now he's into it. The confidence,
Yeah.
it's a huge thing. Let's talk about the first place team, the Kakambas. Jack Abadi. He played without his pitcher this week, without A.B. Cohen. He played the desperate Cherokees tribe, Abe Saka, and he got away with a split. He somehow, in game 1, he got killed. He put Hollywood on the mound. That was a big mistake, putting Hollywood on the mound.
Who are we exactly referring to as Hollywood?
Hollywood is A.B. Dweck, A.B. Hollywood Dweck. And he took the ball on the mound, and he walked 6 guys in the first inning, so it wasn't so pretty. Jody LeBeau's got a big knock in that inning, and you know they went down 4 or 5-0 early, and they lost 11-4. But in game 2, even without their pitcher, they put Mark Braha on the mound. They moved Abraham Soroya to shortstop, and Abadi stayed at short center.
Wow.
And they won the game in extra innings, 5-4.
Listen, they got lucky without their pitcher. They're lucky to get a split. I'm sure they're happy. That's a tough team. Jack and Mark are great players, and they're leading that team. Jack, you know, I obviously love his game. I picked him 2 years in a row as my first round pick in the night league. Unfortunately, that is when he was having all his ailments, so to speak. And he went out 2 years in a row for me, deep into the season and playoffs, heading into the World Series, and I had to play without him 2 years in a row. But luckily for him, he, you know, he's getting better, and the guy's playing great. So
are you worried about A.B. Saka and Ali's team, the Orange team, Cherokee?
Listen, those are my very good friends. They're great players, but I can't sit and worry about them. You know, I'm looking to decimate them when we play them. If I think the Navy's team played them already. I played them on my old team, and we swept them. You know what? They just caught some bad breaks. AB's still pitching. Ali's hitting 500. They're doing their job. I don't know really so much about what everybody else is doing.
Well, they caught a great break by not having to face the pitcher. I mean, they had the Kakambas, who's the best team in the league right now. Without their pitcher, I would think you got to take 2 there. I didn't know that, you know, they were showing up without their pitcher.
Right.
And I was a little bit let down that they couldn't take the 2 there. That was a golden opportunity for them.
Right. It would have been, and again, it would have put them in a better position at 2 and 4. 1 and 5 is tough because, you know, you got to think that going through the next few weeks, you can't ever assume you're going to sweep, and you better pray you don't get swept.
Oh, yeah.
So even if you're splitting the rest of the way, you're looking at the back end of a horse's ass.
Yes, and
if that's what you want to call it.
So, like, and week 4 is always that week. Like, this is like, it's like the turning point a little bit. Like, it gets late after this. It's week 5, 6, 7 is the end of the season already.
You gotta
and
step up,
trade deadline is over. It's like when you're watching the election, like, you know, New York, where that's going or whatever. And, like, now we're at, like, a swing state type of thing. Yeah. I don't know if it's a good analogy or not, but, like, this week 4 is like a
getting Ohio at the last second.
Exactly. You know? So week 4 is Ohio, and, you know, if you're 1 and 5, you got to get Ohio. You must get Ohio.
So who do they play this week?
They play the red-hot team that sent tremors through the league. They play To the Moon. To the Moon is Mo Haber's team that was 0-4. Wow. They were quiet. They were dead. They were dormant. They made the trade. They got some life. And the guys who they traded for, specifically Elliott Saka, had a monster week this week. Monster. He hit a home run. He hit a 2-run triple in a 2-0 game against Navy, and they swept Navy when they were backs against the wall. So it's Cherokee's tribe against To the Moon. Very, very, very interesting. What do you think there? You want to go into predictions? I still want to recap a little bit. But
yeah, we could do the predictions, and then we could go back to the recap.
Go for it.
Want.
Who do you like in that
matchup? I coming out of the draft, and I was had the privilege of being in the room that day when we drafted. I thought Mo Haber had a very tough team. I was shocked that they went 0-4, but you know what? Hannon's a great pitcher. He does not get the credit he deserves. I guess, you know, he had his back really against the wall. He could not afford another sweep, nonetheless, even a split.
Yeah.
So he stepped up, and I'm sure Mo probably threatened his life, or Shalou probably told him he was going to sick some of his camels after him.
Right.
But the guy obviously shut down, you know, the team that he played, maybe, and got those 2 big wins.
Listen, Shalou, speaking of Shalou, because I've been watching him for a few years, this was as good of a shortstop as I've seen him play. He really stepped up, besides for his bat. You know his bat's going to be there, but he stepped up at shortstop. Like, I'm telling you, he got maybe 20 grounders and made every one. MC had a big week. Haber got them to step up.
Well, listen, Haber was never shy about telling his players exactly what Naby would have said.
Yeah.
Perform or you're out of here. I don't care where I picked you. And those are the 2 guys that have to. They are the stars. Shalou is great. I've played with him. I've won a championship with him. He is one of the best in the league. He has to step up. So
you know what the biggest week on that team, besides for Ralph Hannon? Juber. Juber really owns Naby. He hits him really well.
Yeah, he's a good player.
He had, I think, 6 RBIs against Naby in low-scoring game. No, 4 RBIs and 5 or 6 hits against Naby. I guess Haber threatened him also.
Right, either put up or get out of my house type of thing.
Yeah.
You know what? That's a big week. He's back in the thick of things. And you know, just to give you the prediction, I think AB and Ali are desperate. They need a win. But I just don't see any of these teams sweeping. I just don't, because they're both fighting for their life. Like you said, week 4 is tough. They're going to both kill each other. I see a split.
I also see a split. I can't see AB getting swept.
No.
If anyone gets swept, it's going to be AB, though. To the Moon will not get swept. They will not get swept. They are so full of life right now.
Yeah.
Ralph Hannon called me out. He said I'd never show him any love. But I think I do. I don't know. I love the ones who knocked last year. I love that team. I thought that team was, besides for swimming, I thought they were the best team in the league.
Well, you know what? Since we're here,
yeah,
and I'm already sent off the team and everything, I might as well bring it up. I believe the reasoning for my departure was because I basically insisted that my captainship go out and get Ralph Hannon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's public knowledge.
Wow.
Nothing against the current pitcher. I wasn't even asking to let him go. But there was deals on the table. Mo Haber could deny this all he wants, because now they won 2 and he's probably telling him he's Cy Young.
Right.
But there were deals he wanted to make that deal, and I wanted him. I felt that if the Knights, before Christ left,
yes,
what had Hannon on the mound, no matter who we were giving up, I thought we would have been so deadly.
It's funny because the Knights made the deal, but they got a center fielder. They have a center fielder. They got a third baseman. They have a third baseman.
I think
they still have Joe Eschko threw that game away at shortstop last week. He didn't have a good week at shortstop.
No.
I'm just judging from the highlights. I didn't see live, but it looked like he had a rough day at short. And like they didn't address their main issues, which are pitcher and shortstop.
Right.
In my
So
opinion.
I'll tell you, when it came down to it, and I was insisting on a trade, they kind of got to the point where they didn't want to hear it anymore. We're in a brain trust chat, me, Joe, and Farka, and they just didn't want to do it. And I said, strike while the iron's hot. When they're 0-4 and we're 3-1, now you have to take advantage.
100%.
If we had that team with 2 pitchers, I'm not even saying the other guy wouldn't be playing, but imagine we had Ralph on the mound going, again, the great guys are going to get their hits.
But who would have Haber gotten back in that deal?
I have, I'm sworn to
You were in the brain trust.
You're right, and I guess because of my insisting, they felt like,
Are you holding back, Sabon?
I am.
You're not on live with Ghetto Gourmet right now. You could. This is YNSL. This is your family. This is where we groomed you for the success that you have. We brought you up through the system from when you were a 17-year-old young man. And now you're holding back.
So you want to know?
Now you're holding back.
You want to know who the deal was for?
Yeah.
It was a 2-for-2 deal, but the main guys involved were Hannon and Michael Beta.
Hannon for Michael Beta.
Yes.
So Beta would have gone to the moon.
Beta would have gone to the moon as their center fielder, and Michael Cohen was looking to pitch. And it made a lot of sense because Hannon is not hitting. So they would have picked up Beta's bat and replaced Cohen. And I guess at 0-4, the team got frustrated and said, let's make a deal.
It's not a bad deal.
And don't forget, we were also coming off a sweep where Beta didn't play. So we said we could make that move.
Right.
But again, the captains did not want to do it. So I guess they started their own brain trust without me and decided to send me packing. And right after that, I did send Farka a little love note. He sent me one back, and I sent him the playlist of the cars who's gonna drive you home tonight.
Who's gonna drive you home tonight?
And he will be playing that for the rest of his life, standing on second base this year. Mark my words.
Okay, very good. The Aces, Ike Mavora, the red team, you have been part of 2 different links in this chain of terrible, awful red teams. Mean Machine, and what was it called? You're Rough and Rowdy.
It's like Red Alert. I gotta get rid of all things red.
Yes, but Ike is changing that. Ike is now 4-2. He just split with Threat Level Midnight, who is a strong team, and he made them look bad. They looked sloppy in game 1.
Listen, any team. Listen, Ike had the first pick of the draft. He won the lottery. He got Max Yadid. Again, any team built around Max gonna be tough. Max is an elite pitcher. He's right up there with the best. He's won the last, 2 out of 3.
2 of 3, yeah.
So listen, you can't expect anything less. That's a very tough team.
Amazing what he did though, Ike, because there were a couple of questions going in. Everything is coming up roses. Eddie Rishti didn't play last year. He went last week 8 for 9. This week 5 for 6 or 6 for 7 or something. He's gotten out twice in 2 weeks. He's getting on base every second.
Eddie Rishti is and has always been one of my favorite hitters.
He's such a great hitter.
I love good hitters. Yeah. I played with him back in the day. He was always the guy I wanted as the leadoff man.
You both go the opposite way, and you could both pull down the line. Both of you have that similar line drive 10 feet over the infielders. You know, that gorgeous shot. You both do that. You have more power, especially in your day. You could rock it, but you both do that gorgeous line drive. You know how to run the bases and everything. That's Eddie Rishti. The next one was Joey Cohen, previously 3rd baseman in the league for the Cyclones or whatever. They didn't even know who was going to play. We didn't know who was going to play short for them. This guy is better than every shortstop in the league, basically. Yeah. He's in the top 2 or 3 shortstops, hands down, every play.
Another great player. I didn't see his hitting in a long time, but I remember when he was a rookie coming in and playing in the night league and wherever else he played, we all said this guy is going to be a phenomenal talent at short. So he's obviously coming into his own, and, he's making a name for himself. So look for him to be a very early pick going forward.
Next question mark was their outfielders, and they're all contributing. Sam Loudon, Albert Sitt, Zeke DeWeck, Erwin Cohen, a rejuvenation. He told me, and I quote, he will be in the top 5 in batting average this year, and he's so fast, if he gets on, it's doubles usually. Right. So they're all playing great. Like, Ike really knew what he was doing.
Listen, Ike is one of the most professional drafters ever in this league. He knows these players since they're born.
Yeah.
He's been around one of the longest. He plays in every league, so he really does his homework. He knows how to draft. He knows which guys to pick when and where they could play and how they're going to perform. That team's going far. There's no question.
I think so too. I had questions, and they're answering every question. Okay, let's go a little.
But who were they playing? We didn't.
They were playing Threat Level Midnight. They
were playing. Who were they playing this week?
This week they're playing.
Oh, they're playing my ex.
Your former team. I know your prediction here. I mean,
listen. As good as the Knights are.
Now they have we said Shimmies are center field and right field. They have Abe J. Cohen in right field.
That's okay. So that is officially one of the best outfields of all time.
Yeah.
I've been around some teams with phenomenal outfields. Let me tell you something about Marty Anteby.
Oh
we didn't
my
even talk
God.
about this guy. I never had the chance to play with him, but I made that pick at the draft. I told Joe and Farka, I want this guy over anyone. You get him. This guy he's one of the best players in the league.
How
and he's the
to
fastest.
the moon, and
Yeah.
and you gotta believe. And some of these teams passed up on Marty Anteby when they did at the draft.
Won't ever happen again. He's a third round or better player.
He and Buka are the future of the league right now. Those two guys are the fastest two humans I've ever seen,
Yeah.
and they just hit like crazy.
Forget the hitting. He's hitting great, but the outfield he's
Sick.
playing and left. Listen, like we said earlier, we could have lost a few games. We're not even remembering the first week he was robbing guys of grand slams, diving,
Yes, robbery
flying.
in the valley.
Yeah,
Yes,
you know,
yes.
like, so again, without him out there, that would be a disaster. Farka is playing Gold Glove center, and now you're putting A.B. Cohen in right, one of the best ever.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
And also one of the best infields ever.
Yeah.
Obviously, going to take a tremendous downgrade at first base, no matter who they put there.
No matter who. They got Keith Hernandez himself.
Yeah, you could bring back Don Mattingly's corpse. It's
Yes.
not going to do them a bit of good. But the biggest problem is going to be who's going to drive them home. And honestly, unless the guys they just picked up go 7 for 8 against a hot match indeed, and I'm specifically talking about A.B. Cohen and Henry, because those are the guys in the deal. If they go 2 for 8, it's a flop for them, because I was ripping the ball and I was driving in runs, and now Farka has to be on, obviously, and so does Marty, and these guys are going to have their opportunities, but unless they really have tremendous days on this new team, Joe Eshko is going to be in a world of hurt, I believe.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
So I'm going to say my prediction. I hate to say it. I think Max has a big sweep in him this week.
Wow.
Yeah.
If the Aces sweep this week, they'd go to 6-2. They'd be driving that bus.
pretty, yeah.
Oh my goodness. I think that the Knights are loving what they did in the trade. I think they're all giddy. They're excited. They're infield. They have DC, Joe Eshko, Hank at short center, Ruby Saka at second, maybe Max Sutton at first if he's healthy. I don't think he's going to play this week, but eventually. And then like their outfield, like we said, this could be one of the best defensive teams out there. And they still have a lot of bats. They still have Farka. They still have Marty. They have Abe Cohen now. They have Max Sutton. It's not like they're totally without the bats.
No. They have an unbelievable lineup and an unbelievable field. Leo's got to get better. He's got to get better. Not that he had terrible weeks, but listen, the walks hurt. Again, last week, I don't think he had as many walks, but he allowed 7, 8, 9, 10 guys to have multiple big hitting days.
Yes.
Is he going to let Zach and let the big guys get hits? They're going to do that. But when you have 8, 9, 10 getting 4 and 5 hits on the week, that's when you lose games.
Nate Batesh, 4 or 5 hits.
That's a killer. I'm sorry.
Jimmy Cohen, 5 or 6 hits.
That's a killer.
Yeah.
That's a killer to a team. Listen, that's the killer.
Yeah. Okay. So, wait, what's my prediction over there? I'm going to go with the split because I really love the red team now, but I think the Knights have a ton of defense and a ton of offense, and they're in a good vibe right now. I feel like they're loving themselves with the trade, and that matters in softball.
Of course.
You show up, you're pumped. Abe Cohen's going to want to prove something.
Right. And
I doubt he's been traded in his life.
No, actually he traded me last year.
Yes.
I was on his team.
Yes. It's becoming an annual tradition.
Yeah, I don't mind being traded. Listen, if I am going to get traded off a team that I didn't want to get traded off of because they actually asked, and I said I'll go down with the ship wherever it may be, I cannot be happier going to an AB.
You're 2-4 now, though. And you got to wake up now. You better bring that bat with you because that team has no bats. That's why they made the deal, obviously.
And that's what I plan on doing, and
okay.
I will.
you got to believe that's your team against the first place Kakambas, who have a phenomenal defense, a great offense, a lot of bats, could be the nicest uniforms in the league. This green and white, I haven't seen that combo lately.
Since the St. Patty's Day massacre.
Yeah. Right? It reminds me of Wimbledon a little bit, to tell you the truth. I know
like that analogy.
Yeah. Okay, so what do you got in this game? Obviously, you're going to go with Nabi.
Yeah. I'm putting all my eggs in Nabi's basket. He knows he has a new life. This guy is psyched. I think I'm going to bring a lot of energy to this team because from what I heard, you know what? I'm not calling anyone out, but being traded to this team, I'm hearing that a couple guys didn't care. I don't know how true that is because I don't like that. But they were laughing with the other team, striking out, whatever it is, and that's what prompted Nabi to go nuts. But that's all in the past, so I don't care what happens. The team is still in it at 2-4.
Of course,
we have the best pitcher and all-around player in the league, and the #1 pick, and he has a new life. So he's coming. He's not coming to get swept or split. So I have to bank on this guy coming in and throwing gas, and we making plays, and everybody who wasn't hitting starts to hit. Don't forget, they also played without Jordy, their shortstop, their leadoff man. I believe he's coming back. I hope he's healthy. I'm loving that he's going to be my leadoff man. He knows that, we spoke the other night. I'm psyched. He's psyched. I just hope he's 100% healthy, and we'll find out. But I believe there's a couple guys waiting in the wings if he can't make it.
Okay. I mean, yes, there is Mo Shama waiting in the wings. He's approved. But once Jordy steps on that field, once the game starts, he's in. That's it. He's in for the week.
Right.
Whether he comes out one pitch later or not, you can't get a mid-game replacement, as we know. I think Nabi needed the offense. He made the deal. He's 2-4, so this is it. You're going to see the real Nabi right now. You're going to see him showing up, ready to rock and roll. I will say about the Kakambas offense, I thought they should have scored more last week. They only scored 4 in each game, 4 and 5. They started off with a shelling of Ralph Hannon in week 1 over here. They scored 17 runs in that game. It was a party. The next week, they were hitting good also, but a little bit less. And now this week, they scored 4 or 5 runs. Maybe their offense isn't as dominant as we thought it was. And now I think they're going to get the great neutralizer in Nabi. The book is out on Sal Fallis. Everyone knows that he could hit the basketball court over here now. That's not a secret anymore. So everyone's playing him in, Chittiesville over there. So I don't know if their offense is as good as the runs they've put up so far, and they're facing Nabi.
Right.
So I think you got to believe could get a game, only a game. Because the third base thing, even though you made a phenomenal point that they don't get around, Jacobatti gets around, Mark Braha gets around, these guys could get around. So I think long term you're right, but in this game, I don't love the no third base thing.
Listen, you're right. However, like I said, there is no pitcher in this league that the great hitters aren't going to hit. They're going to get their hits. Whether they sit and try to aim at third or whatever the case is, that is yet to be seen. Nabi probably will be aware of his surroundings, and he will adjust so that is less likely to happen. But anybody who could hit the tennis courts, good luck to them. If they could do it against Nabi, that's another story.
That's right.
I don't think Nabi's coming to let anybody hit any tennis courts. But if they do, then our left fielder will be more than prepared for that incident. If we neutralize the big players to a manageable day, and I'm talking reasonable, 4 for 8. He can't let guys go 7 for 8, but if he could hold the main guys to 4 for 8, which it seems their down tick is going to, which is still a great day. It's a 500 day.
Yeah.
No one's expected to get 8 hits in a row.
Right.
But if he could do that and he could neutralize 7 through 10, which he made his bones in life doing, then he's going to be a tough.
You nailed it again, Sabon. He cannot walk Sammy Esses and Ralph Hannon in the game.
Not
unacceptable.
Okay.
Not okay. Never
not
okay.
And you know what? Listen, that is where I got my terrible demeanor over the years. If a guy makes an error occasionally, I'll go nuts. If a guy gets a hit, I'll go nuts. But you know what? It's the multiple walks and the stupidity that got me insane.
Yeah.
However, I have a new life on this team. I'm going to be positive, and I'm not, obviously, if he walks a guy, I'm going to have to let him, you know, hear it, but not in a bad way. So
if you want to walk a baddie or mark, okay. You
Yeah.
can't be walking the 9 and 10 guys for the game, obviously. We all know that.
Yeah, I
so.
spoke to him. He's not looking to walk anyone. If they could hit the tennis court, let's see them do it.
Okay,
You know?
there you go. The challenge by Michael Mount Volcano Sabon. Mike, you're the greatest. You're the best. We know this. This is Sabon before dark on this gorgeous...
Sabon in the sunlight.
It's Sabon in sunlight. You look good in all lightings and all settings. You're amazing, Mike. Thank you so much for joining us once again. Good luck on Sunday, and good luck wearing the Mets orange and blue. You got to believe we ordered you a new jersey.
But I was told to wear a gray.
Yes, I think his jerseys are gray, aren't they?
Well,
yeah.
it looks like the old speed bag, scissor hands.
That's
jerseys coming out.
No,
it
that's
faded
black,
to
though.
gray over the years.
It's 25 years old.
There you go. Any color is out of that.
Michael
by now.
Sabon, thank you so much, buddy.
Thank you for having
we
me.
will have you again. You're the best. Thank you.